Sit, hut! It's a work in progress. You getting there?
Jonny Loquasto here. We're in Iowa City, and I'm here with Mr. Hawkeye himself, Big E.
Absolutely. We're going to walk around town, talk XFC, talk the University of Iowa. Can't wait. This is the spot, man. I'm telling you, this is the Mecca. I come right to town, stop here, get a burrito. Fresh pressed.
Oh, my goodness.
Bro, they don't mess around. We're about to meet my buddy Mike, my old roommate, teammate from back in the day, a tight end here. My man. Oh, for the real thing. This was the spot, and this has been the spot every time I come back in town. This is always our first stop. We sit here, we catch up on life, and we eat the most delicious burrito.
Absolutely wonderful. You talk about one thing that takes us right back to college is coming to Pancheros. It was a daily thing. I mean, we'd have our training table for the football team at 7 p.m. and then we're all, pressured to gain so much weight and get bigger. And so 10 p.m. we all get in the car or pile 2 or 3 on my little moped, driving the Iowa City streets.
By the way, this is your first Pancheros here in Iowa City. I need you to eat that thing while it's fresh.
Yes.
I like the conversation.
I know. This is my problem. I get talking, I don't eat it.
I don't know where to
savor it.
I'm not kidding. This is gargantuan.
It's a big boy.
But
Real
you
big
feel
boy.
that tortilla, how soft and warm.
supple.
That
Real
is
supple.
what separates it, is the fresh pressed tortillas.
I'm from Florida. So the first winter I experienced, first it's kind of cool seeing snow. This is great. But I still have this memory. So this was after I was actually done with my football career, but I was still on campus and I was still working out at the complex. So I remember living right around the corner, about a 10-minute walk to get to the football complex. The wind chill made it feel like 40 below, but the actual temperature was 25 below. Everything was essentially shut down, but I was so determined, I'm going to live today. I remember I was wearing 4 layers. I tied a shirt around the bottom half of my face and the top of my face, so the only thing that was visible was my eyes. I remember in that 10-minute walk, by the time I actually got to the football complex, my eyes started to the condensation started to freeze my eyes closed. I could barely open my eyes. If it was 5 more minutes, I wouldn't have been able to see. It would have been dire. But the cold here, especially as a Floridian, is different.
We lived in the dorms together. Unfortunately, he had an injury, and so I was a true freshman. We stayed back. We didn't make the travel team that year. He was hurt, so we kind of bonded around those weekends when the team was away. All of us guys would just kind of hang out.
Watch the game and just...
And so, we came close those couple years while we lived in the dorms. We ended up living off campus together once those 2 years came up. My mom had a rental house, and so I was looking for 3 or 4 guys to come live there with us, and he was the first one I asked, and the rest is history.
Bro, to this day, we all have a group chat. We lived on Miller Ave called the Miller Boys.
It's at the top of my...
And we are texting essentially every single day. And I think it's so beautiful having that bond that was built when we were all 18. We all met, we all came in the same year in 2004, and we're all we still have a real brotherhood. Our buddy Rashad, he's one of the 4 that we still stay in contact with all the time. We play video games, we play NCAA. That's how we catch up on life. And that's, and now, years later, I got to go to the Kids' Choice Awards, and I got to bring Rashad. He was on the carpet with me a couple years ago. And those moments for me are so special. And our other buddy, Lucas, I remember he got to go to a show, a live event of mine when I was WWE champion. And he told me, he teared up. And he's not an emotional dude, but I think it was what we've all been through such a journey. All 3 of these guys who I call brothers were there when I had ACL tear, after ACL tear, when I tore my pec, when I broke my right patella. We've been there through when I struggled with my mental health. Those guys were there for me, so they've known me. These are my oldest friends on earth. I had friends in high school that have come and gone, but as far as relationships that I've maintained, it's the 4 of us, the Miller Boys. And it really means so much to me that we still have this connection, that I'm still able to see Mike. I see Luke, I see Rashad. Lucas was by at our new house and stopped by for dinner. And all those things mean so much to me to still have that brotherhood after all these years.
And you were open to them about the difficulties you went through,
Yeah, I wasn't, at the time, I didn't know how to be open, and I wasn't, but they saw it. We lived together, so they saw it. And the times where I had to tell them, hey guys, I'm struggling, I have to go into the hospital, I have to go to the psych ward. They were there for that. They were there, telling me we're there for you, all those things. So to have the darkest of times and have that brotherhood And now life is so beautiful for me and all these doors are open that I could never imagine. When I was 22 years old, I could never fathom this being my life. I was barely holding on, you know? And now to think about like those hardships and everything that we dealt with too, even struggling with trying to get on the field, playing time, the stresses of what it's like to deal with college and women and all those things, you know, and now to look back now, and now at this stage in our life, where you have a family, where Lucas has a daughter, we're all getting older, but we're still so connected and life is so beautiful and all these incredible things are happening, to me it's so incredibly full circle because I look back to when we were together on campus here and I never could have fathomed this being my life. I never could have fathomed coming back here and being received the way I am. Like I always felt like I was a nobody when I was here, but to come back and people want to take pictures with me, people want to like celebrate the things that I've done, to get to be honorary captain, I will always stop and sit in a moment of gratitude because I had some of my worst moments here in Iowa City, but I've also been able to have some of my very best, most treasured memories with Mike, with like, you know, just us all growing up, maturing. It's been really, really beautiful. And I'm so grateful to be able to come back. And this place is not a place of pain and sadness and grief anymore. It's a place where I feel connected here. I feel like this is really, I tell people this is my second home. I feel like so much connection with the people here. And I have to give so much love to the people in Iowa. Honestly, some of the most warm, kindest people, the way they receive me, the way they show me love, even before I was a star or was really doing big things in WWE, I've always felt that warmth, and I'm really, really grateful for that.
You go through those tough times, and it really, truly does bring you stronger as a group, brings stronger connection, brings stronger friendship, and that's we're a prime example of that because it's not like we didn't have our ups and downs throughout. You know how it is when you live with someone, you think it's the greatest thing ever, and then you're with them every day, and you get pissed at each other and so forth. And some of the cool things I've been able to do, like sit there in a room with Reggie Bush and
that's right. Yeah.
Some of these guys that we idolized as college football players. You know, I think like I pinch myself like this is my life. You know, even though I'm just like a little snippet of a celebrity. You know, as far as feeling what it's like, just because of him. You know, I got to experience some of that.
We do a dinner. Big Noon Kickoff does a dinner the night before Friday, and to be able to we all love college football, and to sit down with these titans who are on Big Noon Kickoff, Brady Quinn, Matt Leinart, even like Rob Stone is amazing.
Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer was there. Like
Braylon Edwards just happened to be a guest.
Yeah, Braylon stopped in too. Like so, and to have everyone be so warm and welcoming. And I think about those moments in that picture that we got to take. It's just so crystallized in my mind. Also, I've been fortunate enough to do stuff where we were able to go to the Big Ten title game when I was there for a couple years, and to go travel to Indianapolis, share a hotel with Mike, and have those experiences. Like for me, that's really it. Is I'm so fortunate to be able to get to do all these things, but it's when you get to share those experiences with people that you love and make those memories. That for me is what's truly special.
No, it truly was. Like I said, never could imagine I'd be doing some of the stuff. And then here we are with these guys we idolized, and they're asking to take pictures with him. It's like, holy crap, man.
I think what's so different here at the University of Iowa is that you have Coach Ferentz has been here since 1999. We played for Coach Ferentz. He's still here. Phil Parker, who's the defensive coordinator, who won the Broyles Award a season ago for being the best assistant coach in the whole country, he recruited me in 2004. He came down to Florida and visited with my coaches. And Abdul Hodge is the tight ends coach. He was our teammate. He was like the leader. Yeah.
There's no other program in the nation that can have the connection we still have 20 years later.
Right. Especially at this level, you don't have guys who are around for 25 years at the same school who have never left. Yeah. And it's so amazing to look. And like, I remember when Coach Ferentz's kids were small. You know, we played with Brian, who was the offensive coordinator here. You remember, like, when his younger, like, James was still in high school.
He's coming in lifting with us.
And now he's coaching in the NFL. Like, so to see the progression, like, we're all getting older, to see us all grow up.
Coach Doyle's kids, who were this big, and now he's the offensive coordinator of the...
Crazy.
Wherever the heck he is. One of those
Declan,
NFL,
right?
Yeah.
It's
nuts.
Yeah, so that's the beautiful part of this, like, evolution of our journey is now... just we're much older. We're like, you know, the fact that we've known each other longer than we haven't known each other, now we've crossed that threshold. It's special, man. And that brotherhood is real. And oftentimes, you know, like you get into these big organizations, you know, with WWE, with college football, oftentimes you're like, hey, we're a family. And sometimes that can just be very much a cliche.
It's just easy to say.
But you realize looking back now, after all these years have passed, it's like, no, we formed a real brotherhood. And I don't know if we knew that when we first got together. We were just a bunch of kids trying to figure it out.
Oh, you don't appreciate any of that. You just think,
Right.
well, I'm going to be the next NFL guy, and you don't appreciate those little things. But
Right.
it's so clear now that the work we put through, the blood, the sweat, the tears,
It's
the
something you
anxious
don't realize
days.
until you're older when you're like, oh, let me soak this in.
Yeah.
When you're young, you're just like, what's next?
Right, absolutely.
No,
Yep.
definitely.
So we lived at 830 Miller Avenue here in Iowa City. And that is an address that a lot of NFL fans and 49ers fans will know
Right, yes.
because of George Kittle. So George Kittle, this house did your mom own the house when Kittle lived there?
Yeah, yep.
So Kittle's gone on to be a big star with the 49ers. Obviously, he's a huge name. But he also lived there several years after us.
No way.
Kittle does this interview with NFL Films, and little did I know at the time, but he talks about a certain tattoo that he has right on his butt cheek. And this man has 830 Miller
George
Avenue tattooed on his butt cheek. So the fact that now, like this, I feel like it's a very, we just lived at this house, and now it has been crystallized in time, tattooed on his butt cheek. I'll tell you this right now, I don't have any tattoos, and that's gonna stay that way. I'm not getting a butt tattoo of 830 Miller Avenue, okay? I don't know how you
If
feel.
we
but-
were going to do something back to the connection, like you talk about something to bring us together as a
That won't
brotherhood
be
even
it.
further,
Butt
we go
that
get
will
butt
not be it.
tattoos
That's
together.
not gonna be it. We're
That's
not
not
doing
it.
that. We're not doing
I
that.
think that we love to just get childlike and talk about all the silly times we had at Miller.
Yeah.
We all got slammed a few times by Big E.
Well,
It was-
yeah, I'm trying to
I
think
know
what else.
a couple times I was being my silly, stupid stuff,
Yeah.
saying some silly things, and he, of course, would be like, okay,
Yeah.
well, this has gone too far. I'm going to slam you to shut you up. And then I'd get all pissed and couldn't do anything to him because what am I going to do to him? I remember us having talks when he was first getting into the WWE about, man, if I could just do this 10 years, like how great would that be?
Yeah.
And 10 years sounds so long to a 22-year-old or
Yeah,
however old you
yeah.
are. Like 10 years,
Also
oh my
very
God.
long in that business.
Yeah, no,
Right.
for sure. And then all of a sudden, he's here. And now all the different directions this is allowing him to go. He's XFC, he's doing voice acting, he's on Netflix shows, he's on TV. My daughters are streaming and saying, oh, there's Big E, there's a tour. And it's just so cool to see that not only has he, worked and life has, blessed him with those types of opportunities, and it couldn't happen to a better frickin' person. I mean, holy
appreciate
crap. But, here's XFC. Growing up, I would have never thought MMA, a big time MMA fight would be coming to Iowa City.
But we used to watch. I remember, we'd watch UFC. We watched The Ultimate Fighter in the dorms.
No, we for
remember?
sure
Yeah,
would.
we would
Yeah,
bond
and
over
now
that. We played the
he's-
video game. Remember playing UFC Undisputed?
Don't talk about playing video games
He
with
used
him
to
because
hate the
God, he's Mr. expert UFC guy, and I'm like, all right, let me enjoy it a little bit, but I'm getting knocked out 30 seconds into.
And for me, it's so cool as an MMA fan to be able to be a part of actually putting on these events. And it's just, I'm so excited to bring something like XFC 52 The Awakening here to the Iowa City area, my old stomping grounds, and to see guys like Mike Doherty is connected, helping open doors for us. And Mike Doherty is the whole reason I got to WWE in the first place. So I love just how much this community has embraced this event and is excited for this event. This is when amateur wrestling, this is a hotbed for wrestling here in the state of Iowa, especially here in Iowa City. The tradition here is incredible. And I think wrestling is such an important part of the base for MMA. So I know there's so many people who appreciate mixed martial arts here in the area. So to bring this event here, I'm excited. The Extreme Arena, that's actually my first time today. We walked into Extreme Arena to take a look at it. It's beautiful. That whole area with all the restaurants, that didn't exist either. So I'm excited, and my hope is this is just the beginning. So obviously you're here at Pancheros, the Mecca, the original Pancheros, but there's a lot more to Iowa City that you need to see. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Shelby? This is more downtown Iowa. There are some scholastic buildings here, but it's mostly shop. So I spent a lot of time in this area socially and with class as well. So yeah, it's got a real charm to it.
It's so walkable too, which as a college student, that's really the key.
That's key, man. Very key.
Shout out XFC, baby. Shout out
There we go. There we go. My guy. Sit. Hut. Yeah, it's a work in progress. You're getting there. So, this is really, I think, a a great first opportunity for a lot of people in this area to see what XFC is all about. And once they see, they're going to be hooked. I know it.
Cannot wait. Iowa City, baby.
Yes, sir.